This is a Global Original Podcast. As you can hear from the echoey sound of my voice, I'm recording this at one of those Rishi Sunak meal-a-deal restaurants after the scheme's finished. There's no one here. It's the end of summer, so that means it's Christmas. Or it will be in every shop near you soon, if it isn't already. These clips were from last December, when we had no coronavirus to be alarmed about, and all we were concerned with was cooking a huge bird. Quite a bit of this references last week's podcast. We could call it Christmas 2, The Revenge. First off, though, apparently Boris Johnson has a cunning plan. Here's a call in Beverley. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, it's about the whole sea level rise predictions and things. I think that Boris Johnson is going to claim success, climate change, because I think that in the next 10 years, the scientists will confirm that sea level is going to rise, London is going to become unsustainable, and all London business will move to the Midlands and the north to higher ground.
Right.
And Boris claims success, that he's moved prosperity to the north and the Midlands.
Northern powerhouse, that's right.
The Northern powerhouse. And I think that this could be a masterstroke, that he's looked at climate change and thought, how can I benefit from this to look after myself, which is what he normally does.
Right. Well, I think it's charming. I still can't come up with quite the right word that I'm looking for, but charming is more there or thereabouts. I think it's charming that the good people of the North, who have been utterly ignored up to this point by a Conservative government, think that now that the Conservatives are back in charge, then now their lives are going to get better. Well, I wish you all the best of luck.
10 years of Conservative rule, and he still convinces people that he's going to change everything.
Yep, 10 years of Conservative rule, and it's still Jeremy Corbyn's fault.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's solve it later.
Okay, it's a little bit too late, Mike. We need a time machine. All right, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Don tweets, Nick, as an Audi driver, I can assure you that there are still lots of bugs. You're just not driving fast enough. Plus, they are attracted when I am flashing my lights. Oh, it's you, is it? You're the person in my rearview mirror. I was standing at stoplights. In front of there's a space for a car right by the light, and then behind the car by the light there's a gap that says keep clear, and then the rest of the cars start beyond that. And the person behind me, because I'd left the please keep clear area clear, because I'm a good boy, I am. And the person behind me was flashing his lights and flashing and flashing and flashing and flashing and flashing, going berserk that I hadn't just moved up a bit at a red light. Like that would make any difference. He was doing his nut because he wasn't standing still 6 feet forwards from his current position. Does that make any sense? Morons. We're surrounded by morons. Peter says, I've just bought a turkey, 8 kilos, from my butcher's at £12 a kilo, 96 quid. But it's free range. There's nothing free about it. How can a bird cost 96 quid? I mean, I bought one which seemed ridiculously priced to me because, I mean, chicken. What's the difference between a chicken and turkey? Why does a turkey cost so much more than a chicken? Other than people are ripping us off because it's Jesus' birthday. Well, I bought one for, it was £18. I mean, it gave like 4 meals, but that just seemed like an unreasonable amount to spend. And I don't think it was even free range, it was just an ordinary turkey. So when people can rip you off, they will rip you off. It's like things that are date specific, like stuff around Christmas, they just double the price and add a zero. It's the same if you have a disability of some sort. All those companies that do disabled showers and lamps for the hard of sight and all of that sort of stuff. They're not all rip-off merchants, but there's a lot of rip-offery about. Oliver tweets, no port in Sainsbury's today. Drinks stocker was so apologetic he wished me a Merry Christmas. Some hope.
Booze.
No port. This tweeter says, Jesus isn't even born yet and Tesco are lashing out the Easter eggs. They aren't. They can't be. So they're just going to be selling Easter and Christmas all year long now, because I think just after Easter, Christmas hit the shops, didn't it? There were Easter things and Christmas things on the shelves at the same time. I'm absolutely certain of it. And so it's just dates will mean nothing anymore. Everything will be available at all times for your convenience.
Thank you.
Here's Lewisham. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Nick. That's it. I've got 2 cars, and I do like driving up north for my holiday. And up there, they say they don't. Yeah, up north, they don't
Where?
want
That's a
all
bit
this
vague.
power.
Where?
Up north, the Lake District, all along there, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And they just want it left alone, from what I'm hearing. They don't want up north like London. They like up north how it is. Anyway,
well, in the Lake District, they might like it is, but if you're just going on holiday in the Lake District, then presumably you're staying in hotels and going to cutesy villages, and they've got their industry is tourism.
Yes, and up north they've got quite a good tourism industry. Anyway,
well, in the lakes, yes, but not ordinary towns and cities in the north. They don't survive on tourism. They survive on what used to be manufacturing and mining and those dirty fingernail jobs.
Yes, but they still don't want it like London. Anyway, let me tell you about my 2 cars.
I don't know what that means. They don't want it like London. What, like well off, you mean?
The poverty. You don't know. You haven't got a clue what's going on in London. There's so much poverty.
Are you kidding me? I've lived in London for most of my life. How can you say that I don't know what's going on in London?
Yeah, because you just drive from where you live to that box that you're in now. How can you know what's in?
Oh, get lost, June. I don't live in a bubble.
Jane. Anyway, let me tell you about my 2 cars.
Yeah, I'm not remotely interested.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so can I tell you, please? So my original car, it rolled back into my second car, which wasn't my second car then. So anyway, and damaged all the fronts.
Yeah.
So
to make a long story short,
at the damage.
Late.
So anyway, the owner came out and he just dropped his shopping.
What do you mean the owner? I thought you just said your car ran into your other car.
No, it wasn't my other car at the time. So anyway, he freaked out. So I said to him, don't worry, I'll get it repaired for you. So he said, all right. So I got it repaired. And he came round to my place with, like, the RAC man. And then he refused the repair. And it was brilliant, the repair. And he refused it. So the RAC man was more or less the referee between the 2 of us,
right.
see.
Well,
and
I'm sending you both off.
So anyway, and then he come over to me quietly. He said he wants you to buy the car.
Yeah. Is this a funny story or a sad story or an interesting one?
So anyway, he said to me, if I was
Wait a minute. Wait. I gave you 3 options there and you passed on all of them. So it's not funny or sad or interesting. Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
yeah, I think it's probably best to just dip out there. What do you think? I've saved us all a lot of time. You're welcome. This texter says nut roast £4.99 sorted. Yeah, go vegan. How cheap is that? You want to spend £96 on a bird or £4.99 on some nuts? 96 quid for this. £4.99 for this.
A big sack of monkey nuts.
Sam in Hearts says, you're right that folk rip people off at this time of year, but perhaps you're partly to blame. What? Oh, I see. It's my fault. He says all they're doing is applying Abbot maths, converting prices from normal to seasonal. Well, that is a good point. Yeah, you double it and you add 32. If it's £12, then at Christmas you double it and you add 32. So 2 times 12 is 26, and 26 plus 32 is 64. So it would be £64, whatever it is. Tom says, I booked my Christmas food delivery slot in October. Arrived yesterday with no fuss whatsoever. Do you mean to say that you booked the delivery slot in October, or your delivery slot was supposed to be in October? I say this every year. People should stop celebrating Christmas Day on Christmas Day. What difference does it make? I always feel a sense of enormous superiority, because I swan around and everybody else is going berserk and pulling their hair out and trying to get last minute this and that, and the shelves are bare, and they're getting into fights over loaves of bread. And I've done all mine. I've done the wrapping and I've done the unwrapping, and I've done the drinking and the shopping and the eating and the sitting down and watching a good film. Well, I don't know about good. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the latest Quentin Tarantino. And I'm still a bit confused about it. I don't really know why he made it. I don't get what's it for. I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, but I just don't really understand the whole concept, man, about the new film. Don't get it. Other than he could get a lot of really, really famous people all together at the same time and just point his camera at them. This texter says, might buy an acre of land, raise 1,000 organic free-range turkeys and then sell them for £100 each. That's £100,000. Excellent idea. You do that and then we'll split it 50-50. What do you say? That's my best offer. Have you heard who's been going on about wind, by the way? Speaking of things that kill birds, Christmas and wind. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute because, that man is unravelling. He is unravelling like an old jumper. It's scary what's happening in America right now, particularly as we are destined to crawl across the carpet and beg for him to be nice to us.
Donald Trump is not a nice person.
Yeah, well, he should know. Coming up, Jesus' personal friend calls the show.
Please hold the line. I'm trying to connect you.
Joe texts, we have Christmas dinner on the 24th in the evening. If you forget anything, the shops are still open. Then on the 25th, there's nobody crying into the sprouts, and everyone can just open presents, eat chocolate and gobble leftovers. Win, says Joe. Yeah, that sounds like a fairly good idea, but not as good as having the entire thing wrapped and unwrapped a week before. I do it every year, and every year it's just so satisfying. Trust me, try it. I mean, you won't be missing out on anything. There's nothing special about doing it on the 25th of December. It's just a date coinciding with the shortest day of the year. Phil tweets, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just Tarantino's tribute to the last days of the golden era of Hollywood. If you've seen Kill Bill, you'll know how self-indulgent he is. Well, I like Kill Bill. Kill Bill is a great film, both 1 and 2. But maybe it's the kind of film that you need to see twice, although it didn't seem to have enough in it to warrant viewing it again. It was just kind of, it started and it was pleasant enough when it was going along, and then it ended and you thought, is that it? And I've never thought that in a Quentin Tarantino film. Even the ones that people don't talk about and haven't seen, like Death Proof, which I think is a great film. No spoilers, but it's about a car too. But nobody ever talks about that. It's almost like it's invisible, that film. And there's other ones like Jackie Brown and Pulp Fiction, of course, is one of the greatest films ever made. And they're all really, really special. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's just like, what was it? I don't get it. Maybe I'll see it again. I'm still stunned that was Steve Allen's car. He's like a captain of industry swanning about in that thing. It looks so big, it looks like it's got an upstairs. Does it come with a garden? Westminster, hello Ken.
Good evening there, my old friend, Mr. Abbott.
No, it's you.
Yes. Listen, where's Tom Swarbrick? Has he disappeared off the planet, Nick?
I'm not his keeper, Ken.
Oh, yeah, I normally listen to him. But listen, thanks for allowing me on your program. I've got some good news for everybody.
Good news.
All your
Right.
listeners.
Here we go.
We're surrounded by sad, depressed people with no hope in life. There is good news for every one of us.
Really?
Jesus Christ died for us. He's concerned about us.
Mm-hmm.
He came here to suffer and die for my sins, Nick, for
Right.
your sins. He offers us love, mercy, and
Are you
forgiveness.
a sinner, Ken?
We're all sinners, Nick. We're all
well,
doomed
you
without
speak-
Jesus. But God offers
speak
us
for yourself,
forgiveness,
mate.
man.
Does he?
God
So-
offers us love and forgiveness.
Well, that's nice.
Only a
So I can
fool,
do
Nick.
anything I like and still get into heaven if I just say sorry.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Once you
thought that was
become
the
a
whole
Christian,
plan.
God changes our lifestyle. We become better people, new men and women in Christ.
So if
this is good news.
if I sin, Ken, and then I say sorry about that, then that's okay, is it?
No, a true repentance is to ask forgiveness and forsake that sin. For example, if I'm a shoplifter, which I'm not, but supposing I was,
Yeah.
and I asked Jesus to forgive me for stealing out of shops, but I had no intention of stopping the stealing, Nick,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be forgiven. It's not a genuine repentance. I would have to stop the stealing.
Right. If I
Has to be in
if
my
I steal
mind to stop it.
if I steal out of shops every day for 30 years and then I say sorry,
You can if you like, but that's you risking your eternal destiny for heaven or hell. That's the biggest gamble a man can take, Nick.
Right, okay.
This is Christmas
well,
time.
my personal
This
religious
is not a
belief, my
fairy
personal
tale.
religious belief, Ken, is there is no such thing as heaven or hell.
Well, that's your choice, Nick. I used to be the exact same as you.
Right.
I used to be a miserable atheist like you. But now Jesus has changed us,
and
man.
now you're this deluded person who calls me
Jesus has
every
changed us,
single
Nick.
show and keeps going on and on and on. If Jesus has entered my life, have you accepted
power in
Jesus
the
into your
gospel.
life, Nick?
There's power in the gospel,
Yeah,
Nick. There's
okay.
no power in that alcohol you're looking forward to. There's power in the love of Jesus.
Oh, there is. Bourbon got plenty of power in it.
Booze.
Trust me. Anyway, thanks a lot, Ken. Top of the season to you. Whew. Lucy in Birmingham says, every year, he sounds like one of those guys who stands on a box in the high street and bellows into a microphone, doesn't he? Brings his own PA system with him. And you go past them and you think, why aren't police persons beating this person to the ground with their clubs? Why aren't they tasering him while he lies helplessly on the ground? Is that true?
Yep, absolutely.
Do you want to say that out loud?
Yep. Ken, you have done that outside this building
Right.
and in Parliament Square.
Oh, grief. Okay, well, that's all I need to know. You've delighted us enough, Ken. Lucy in Birmingham says, every year, myself, my daughter and my granddaughter do Christmas on the 21st, whatever day it falls on. We book the restaurant in October. We take all of our presents there. Great time, done and dusted. Nothing special on Christmas Day, just relax. So Saturday was great. Why doesn't everybody do that? We're obsessing about all... See, here's the problem. If you have your Christmas Day on the 17th or the 18th, then there isn't the pressure is off. But if you have it on the 25th, you're under an enormous amount of pressure to make it the best day of the year. And it almost never is. So it's always an incredibly stressful build-up to something that is a massive letdown. And people do this year after year after year. We do not learn our lessons. I mean, I only started doing it because I got these shows over Christmas. A really long time ago I've been doing this. And so I wanted to, get good and hammered on the spirit of the season. But you can't do that on a work day. So I did it in the week before I started. And it was so great, I think I'd always do it like that. Because what are you going to... What happens on the 25th that couldn't also happen on the 17th? I mean, okay, the only thing that is specific to that day is the Queen's speech. Is anybody remotely interested in what the Queen's going to say?
No.
I'll tell you what the Queen's going to say. She's going to say, and then go on about the Commonwealth, and we should all love each other and be kind to poor people. While she sits in a solid gold room, weighed down with enough jewels to sink a battleship. Trust me when I tell you. I guess it's too late now. Well, you could do it tomorrow. But next year, put it in your diary. Christmas is on the 17th. John says, famous frozen food store turkey, 15 quid. Happy Christmas. Yeah, the thing with turkey, though, is it's a little bit dry. Can be a bit dry. Put butter under its skin. That's what we did. Slathered it, we did. Take some... what's the recipe today, Nick? Well, I'm glad you asked, Raymondo. Take some melted butter and put herbs in it, and then squirt it up its skin. And thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
Let's have Fred.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, Fred.
I was just saying to your person, what's them about? Christmas is banned.
In what way?
Oliver Cromwell banned it, and it was never put back on the books again. So every person who's holding Christmas is breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
Yeah,
Guilty.
Breaking the law over Christmas because it's not been put on your street books again.
Right.
And you are the only person probably in the country who's not.
Yeah. See?
Well, I don't know. Are you holding Christmas or are you holding just a party and all that? So if you're not holding Christmas, then you're not breaking the law.
Yeah, well, then I'm completely innocent in every respect because I didn't...
And it's a pagan holiday anyhow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're just pagans. Every one of them are pagans.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Paganism is just fine. It is. Why not?
I mean, that's all it is, really. They should, they should, I don't know, celebrate it some other time when Jesus was really born.
Yeah. Yes. Should such a date actually exist? Precisely.
I don't know myself. I don't believe in it.
No. Well, me either. It's become a way for shops to go into the black. Well, the rest of the year they're in the red. Because people just go berserk and they buy so much stuff that you're not going to use. I mean, all this stuff. You're going to have to throw it away. All of the wrapping paper. All of the food that you don't actually get around to eating. An enormous amount is spent and wasted at this time of year. Because that's what Jesus wants. Talk about a life out of balance. I was talking about this yesterday. A life out of balance. Koyaanisqatsi. We're all living a life out of balance, particularly at this time of year. It's obscene. I bet you've bought at least 50% more food than you're actually going to eat, or that you would actually need to eat without gaining an enormous amount of weight. I'm right, aren't I? Meanwhile, there's people in the world who are, in Biafra, who are starving to death. Does Biafra still exist, or do they call it something else now? I haven't heard it on the news for a good long while. Maybe they're doing really, really well. I doubt it. If you've got any turkey spare, send it to Biafra. Coming up, hold that care package. It might not get there.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
Biafra is now part of Nigeria, apparently. I've just been told. My glamorous assistant just looked it up. It's been a part of Nigeria since 1970. Blimey. Really? So I haven't heard the word Biafra since 1970. And it's still my template of where people are starving to death. You know, those poor kids with flies in their eyes on the telly. I am stunned. It's, And how are they doing, by the way?
No idea.
No idea. No idea. Get them on the phone. It's not picking up? Keep ringing. Yeah, but Biafra is where is my template for where people are starving, as opposed to Trafalgar Square, for instance, where people are actually starving and freezing to death. It's tent city out there. But it's probably because we've suffered through the last 10 years of a Labour government with a disastrous prime ministership of Jeremy Corbyn. Oh no, that's right. It was the Conservatives' fault.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Tottenham. Hello, Saul.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Saul.
So I was just thinking back because you want Christmas Day not to be on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've got kids, so obviously Christmas Day has to be on Christmas Day.
Why?
And because Santa Claus has to come.
Oh, they're that age, are they?
Well, then I was thinking because we had an argument about which presents have to come from Santa Claus, and it's I just think as a philosopher, what do you think?
How old are they?
They're for 5. Yeah. And so, do some presents come from the parents, mum and dad?
Yeah.
Do some parents come from Santa Claus? He's already seen Amazon deliver a few, and a couple of them have been open already.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, and then I spoke to some friends, and they're like, everything's got to come from Santa Claus. And I said, why? They said, well, kids know you make stuff up, so it doesn't matter if you lie anyway. But then some people I spoke to are like, absolutely not, I don't want to perpetuate a lie.
I'm aren't you a little bit surprised that kids still believe in that? I mean, when I believed in Santa Claus in the 60s, it was magical then, but there was no way for me to check whether it was true or not. I didn't have an iPad or a smartphone or any of that sort of stuff. And I was probably, I don't know, I was still wearing shorts to school when I realized, when some kid shouted over the road at me, "What do you mean there's no such thing as Santa Claus?" And I ran home to ask Mummy and got the bad news, which was devastating.
I found out that Santa Claus didn't exist, so I found my mum, because I used to leave a mince pie out. And I found my mum with mince pie crumbs around her mouth and the glass of milk, which I used to leave out.
Well, maybe she'd been kissing Santa Claus. Did you think about that?
Yeah, but then you see, Santa Claus is dead. And see, we're in the unusual situation because I'm Jewish and my wife's she's Italian.
Can I just stop you there for a second? I wouldn't broach the subject by telling your kids that Santa Claus is dead.
But then I'm thinking to myself, the other gentleman who rings up who always talks about Jesus. I like people like him. It's like when a Jehovah's Witness comes to the door, I'll always sort of say thank you for coming.
Really?
But I just thought, I always say thank you for coming. I like it. I like that people are out there doing that. I just think it's inspiring, just in being there.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to invite one of those people in and say, I believe in the devil. Would you like to come in and have a chat about it?
No, but I'd always listen to them at the door.
We worship the devil in this household. Please come in and have a glass of something red.
But you see, if Santa Claus is dead, then maybe yes, Christmas Day. And if no one believes if people aren't interested in Jesus thing, well, I don't know how many people are interested in Jesus thing. Everyone gives presents, but I don't think Jesus is a big part of, Well,
how long are you going to?
So what do we do?
How long are you going to continue with this charade, though, Saul? I mean, say they believe it this year. When they're 6, is it still going to be the case? How about when they're 10?
Well, I take each day as it comes. Each Christmas it comes. But I was thinking to myself, maybe we got to look at Saint Nicholas. Maybe that's what it got. I mean, I'll put some meaning into it because last year when he opened up all the presents, I thought, my goodness, where's the meaning of all this? And I thought, well,
meaning.
I felt a bit depressed.
There ain't no meaning to it. It's money, honey. That's all it is. We've been hypnotised to spend vast amounts of money we haven't got on stuff we don't need, and to give it to people we don't like.
Well, just on an offshoot, because you also mentioned, I also went to Hamleys.
Yeah. How was it?
I went there. It was,
mayhem.
I'm lost. It was mayhem. Mm. I've never experienced anything like it. I ended up having all my stuff, and I just shoved everything in one corner by a toy store and shoved it behind the shelf, and then just left it there for about an hour and a half. I had 2 scooters, a bag. I just left it all there, and just walked around, and it was complete mayhem. And I've never seen anything like it. It's the most it's no good, that place.
It's a not customer friendly place.
No.
Well, at least it wasn't the last time I went, which was many, many years ago. But I just thought this place can't handle crowds because there's just not enough floor space. It's all up and down is the problem. It's got about 7 floors, doesn't it? Something like that. And there's no space on the floors. Everything's just jammed in, which is fine if you go there in like February when there's nobody there. But at Christmas, when there's just crowds and crowds and people are pushing prams and buggies and they got screaming kids and it's just, no, it's a no from me.
I was amazed how many people were in there with buggies and prams thinking that they could actually go to Hamleys with a pram.
Big mistake. Huge.
But the funniest thing is that I only went there because my little boy, he's like, I want to go to the oldest toy shop.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go to Hamleys. So we went there just to sort of see what it was all like. Mm. But I didn't actually buy anything, which was quite interesting.
There's something magical about it because it has, a lot of history, and but it just doesn't have the floor space for an enormous amount of crowds, unless they're advertising with us, in which case the prairies of Texas don't have as much space.
Well, Santa Claus wasn't present at Hamley's.
Really?
No. There were some elves outside.
I bet there were, yeah.
But there was no... actually, no, I take that back. Sorry, I take that back. That's terrible. I take it back. I don't want to do a disservice. There was a sleigh there.
Yeah.
With move. So, but Santa Claus himself wasn't present.
Right. Well, there was somebody of that girth couldn't actually squeeze into that store.
Anyway, the thing is that, I think if Santa Claus is dead and no one believes in Jesus, then yeah, we can choose any Christmas day we want.
See, here's what I think is happening, Saul. You don't want to disabuse your kids of the notion that Santa Claus exists, because actually the magic is all in your eyes. You're getting a kick out of all this. You're feeling like a child again, and you don't want to ruin it, not for them, but for you.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I've got to get my head around that over a cup of tea.
All right. Well, the best of luck with that. All right. Thanks a lot, Saul. 0345 6060 973. I still haven't done Donald Trump banging on about wind. Did you hear about that? Good grief. That man's insane. And I mean that with the utmost respect for the office of the President of the United States of America.
I'm president! Can you believe it?
No, we're still stunned. This texter says, you have stocking presents from Santa and everything else comes from who it's from. Mum, Dad, whatever. Saul and Mrs. Saul are doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. Well, that's not bad. And then you get a lot of praise and love from the kids, because all the big stuff's from you. But and Santa gives them what? A tangerine and a bag of chocolate coins. Big deal. Thanks a lot, Santa. Yeah, you've ruined Christmas. And that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, you'll find the next episode gets squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget the podcast that I do with Carol McGiffin called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the very funny Carol McGiffin and me try to solve people's problems while laughing like seals. And if you would like us to have a bash at your problem, send it to the following address: nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com. And you can get that podcast and my whole show podcast, which is, as it sounds, the whole show that I do on the radio. You can get all of those where you got this. If in doubt, do an internet search on my name, Nick Abbot Podcast, and everything will become clear. And I'll be back on the radio Friday and Saturday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.